G'day everybody and welcome back to the series. I'm joined again with Steve Maguire. How are you, Stephen?
I'm very well, Tom. Thank you.
That's the way. So thank you to everyone for joining us along with this series so far. Please like, comment and subscribe to the videos on YouTube. It really helps us out. Today we are looking at the specification manager inside Enterprise Architect. Stephen, let's have a look at it.
Yes, Tom. Let's do that. And it's one of my really favourite tools in the product because it allows users who are more familiar with working in spreadsheets or documents to feel comfortable in the tool. So it's not all about drawing diagrams. It's about putting information in and viewing information. So let's have a look. On the screen, we have a default home diagram, which allows us to model using these navigation cells. If you haven't looked at that video, perhaps go back and look at the navigation video. So we're going to click through on here to the behavioral model. We can see here that we've got a number of different models. Actually, let's look at requirements. We'll do that, Tom. We'll look at requirements instead. That's a common thing to do. So let's look at the requirements model there. A diagram pops up there. And so we got our diagram now. Now I can immediately right mouse click, and remember that's a favorite thing to do in Enterprise Architect, lots of functionality there, and I can switch view to say switch to specification view. Notice that a new ribbon is becomes visible. It wasn't there before and now it's popped up. We have a whole lot of options on this ribbon here. So, and the view has changed from a diagrammatic view into one that's kind of text-based there, and I can expand these little triangles there. And look at that, we've got the name of the element, we've got the notes of the element, and we've got a whole lot of different options here. Now I'm going to look at the specification manager. We can look at it at a diagram level, and we can also look at it at a package level. So that would just display the elements that are in that diagram, but I can also go to the requirements model package and use the specification manager as well. So let's just close that for a minute, and let's go over here and select that package, and we'll look at specify there, and let's go here and go to the start ribbon there, the design ribbon, and go to the specification view there. So that brings up the specification manager for the package. So quite a similar kind of view there. You can see that the elements are there again, and the notes are there. So I can edit the right here inside this one. I can say this one here. I could say main book session, and I could go into the notes and I can say it needs to. The system must allow a motorist to book a parking session. So I could put in here book any number of parking. I'll leave that parking out, in the number of parking sessions there. So I'll put an S on the end of that. And so that's a nice way of working there. And the good thing about this is that people work in different ways. This particular format, I can look at the notes format here, and I can say, look, I want to have a preview. So not all of the notes, just the preview of the notes there. I can say full notes in line, the one that we had there. Full notes in column. So this is more like a spreadsheet looking view, if you like. And I could also do a document view there as well. So lots of different options there, Tom, about how you want to display this. But the critical thing is that you are displaying something that was diagrammatic in the case of the diagram, or a repository-based thing with a list of elements, and you're displaying it in a familiar document or spreadsheet-like view.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So I guess one use that I've seen people use of this is when they're writing, say, policy documents for the organization, might be a government body or whatever, then each paragraph of that policy document is its own individual element then, and can be traced and linked and shared.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. So we're looking at requirements, but it could be used for any number of purposes, right from that sort of strategic level, the business case, like you said, the policies, standard operating procedures, and down at the component level as well. In fact, a little story from the trenches, Tom. I was working with a client not very long ago, and the person that did like you said, the policy documents, or they were the standard operating procedures, didn't feel comfortable working with diagrams in Enterprise Architect, and they were quite resistant to working with the tool, even though the program had chosen Enterprise Architect for all of their project work, and it was being very successful. But this one individual just found it very, very difficult. And what I came across was the fact that they hadn't ever come across the specification manager. And so once we showed them that tool, they were absolutely, completely happy to work at it. And their reflection back to their manager was, I thought that Enterprise Architect could only do diagrams, and I don't like diagrams. I'm a textual-based person. So yeah, a very useful thing there. Let's have a look at a couple of other things here. We've looked at that show column, the format notes. We've looked at this show columns here. So what this brings up is a field chooser, and I can choose any number of different fields. Now let's put it into a notes, full notes in line. Actually, we'll go into a notes and columns field there, and we'll choose that show columns. So what I can do is, using this field chooser, just drag different properties into the view. So I've got status there. Let's go for difficulty as well, and I can pop that in. And so that allows me to look at these properties, and I can choose any number of those that I want. I will close that one just for the moment, but I can put any number of those there, and I'll move this one over. And lo and behold, I can actually change these properties right here in line inside the specification manager. So that's a really powerful thing, but any of those properties can be changed. The take-home message from that as well is that this is a repository. It's not a drawing tool. It's not a kind of document tool. It's an integrated repository, so that these elements that I'm changing, they will change in other parts of the model. So not just in this, but anywhere where that element's being used, it will change that status. So the other thing that's useful, I'm going to go back into this document view here, and I'm going to look at level numbering. So this is a common thing with any type of document. In your favorite word processor, you'll find this type of thing. I'm going to enable that there, and you'll see now that we've got this numbering system here, where we're going down from 2 and 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. So that's a useful way to display that. And you can see that in the project browser that has been displayed as well. So quite an
interesting thing about that, Stephen, is if you remember back from the requirements video, you showed us auto numbering with the prefix on elements, and it looks like in the project browser now that the level numbering works hand in hand with auto numbering. They don't sort of get in each other's way.
No, that's right, Tom. They're two different things. In many ways, think about the auto numbering as a way for you to easily enter into conversations, rather than saying to someone, hey, can we look at the DPS MS vehicle registration number display? You can say, can we just look at requirement number 6, right? And so that allows you to have to identify that element very quickly. So yeah, good observation, Tom. The other thing I can do is down here, I can look at this add new button here. I can toggle that there and say, do I want to just add a new element? And so I'm going to go add new there. And you can see your friend, what you just mentioned there about the auto counters has come up. And I'm going to put in a new element here, and I'm going to call it, what we'll call it, system checks. And we can then go into the notes here, and okay, the system must checks on critical hardware to be hardware. Notice the spelling option coming up there, hardware to be critical hardware elements. So that's there. So that's how we can add that. We can also, if we wanted to, we can go and drag one from the the browser, we can change perspectives here into the requirements perspective, choose that toolbox, and I could actually just drag a requirement from here onto the palette as well. Insert after selection, insert as child. So let's insert it as a child there, or actually after that selection, and we can see the auto numbering takes us up. The level numbering is increasing there, and the auto numbering is going up there. I can select that element. Now I need to put on this highlight selection one here, and I'll say that I'm going to delete this one. We don't need that requirement at the moment. So lots of different options there, Tom. A very powerful facility. It's something that if you start using it, you will absolutely love it. And another thing I just want to show you quickly is the font size. Very handy there. People working with different, different visual abilities. I can put it into large there. I can put it into small. All the kind of things that you would expect. I can do all sorts of other things on this element. For example, I can turn on the filter bar, and if I put in there in the filter, I can look for something like payment, and it just displays any of the elements that are related to payment. So a really useful part of the tool, and like I said, it's one of my favorite tools.
Oh, absolutely. There's a really great story about what you're saying with the customer using it as a word processing document as opposed to a visual modeling tool. And it reminded me of the feature on diagrams, actually, with the chevrons on the right-hand side, where you can actually see the diagram and the specification manager up at the same time.
Yeah.
Are you able to show us that?
Yeah, let's have a look at that, Tom. So we'll go into our requirements model there. And over here, we've got this little chevron. So lots of little tiny things here. This is bringing up a list of the diagrams that are open, but next to that is the little chevron. And here we have exactly what Tom was talking about, this ability to be able to look at this diagram, but in a textual view. Now, I use this. One of the reasons why I use this quite quickly when I'm looking at models is that I want to see which elements have I not, put text on. For example, I'm doing my model and I haven't put text on a particular element, and this will help me identify that straight away. But it gives you a very, very clear picture from a document point of view of that diagram, and it's just the elements on this diagram, Tom.
No, that sounds really cool, and good tip for model completeness as well there, Stephen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen. The specification manager is an awesome tool inside Enterprise Architect, and if you're not using it, give it a go. Once again, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. It really helps us out a lot, and we'll see you all back for the next video. Thank you very much again, Stephen.
Thank you, Tom.